close your eyes for a moment. I want you to picture a football pitch, but not the one bathed in the television lights of the racecourse ground. Strip away the cameras, strip away the documentary crew, strip away the celebrity fanfare. Imagine a cold, gritty night at Roots Hall. The air is damp, the tension is palpable, and the stakes are deceptively high. We often get lost in the glamour of what is happening with the first team, don't we? We get obsessed with the promotion push, the big signings, the narratives that fit neatly into a streaming series. But sometimes something happens in the shadows, away from the main stage, that signals a shift far more profound than a transfer fee. Something is happening at Wrexham that suggests the roots are finally taking hold deep in the soil. There is a quiet revolution happening, led not by Hollywood stars, but by local lads with fire in their bellies. Something historic has just occurred, something that has never ever happened in the long storied existence of this club. It's mysterious how little attention this gets compared to the main headlines, but for a true football mind, this is where the real intrigue lies. We are looking at a changing of the guard, a breaking of barriers. What happened at Southend wasn't just a win, it was a statement. A statement that the Red Dragons aren't just buying success, they are starting to breed it.
Right, let's get into the thick of it. We talk about history a lot with Wrexham. We talk about the old days, the cup runs of the past, the giant killings. But today, I am not talking about the ghosts of the past. I am talking about the history being written right now, this very morning.
The headline is simple, but the weight of it is immense. Wrexham have made FA Youth Cup history.
For the first time, and I mean the first time ever in the club's existence, the youth team has reached the 5th round of this prestigious competition. This isn't a friendly, this isn't a training exercise. The FA Youth Cup is the gold standard for academy football in this country. It is where legends are born, where the future stars of the Premier League cut their teeth. And Wrexham, our Wrexham, have just kicked down a door that has remained locked for decades. We have beaten Southend United. And we haven't just scraped by, we haven't stolen a result. We went down to Roots Hall and secured a massive victory. This is the sort of news that makes you sit up and realise that the project under the Hollywood owners is becoming holistic. It's not just top down, it's bottom up, it's organic. The sheer magnitude of reaching the 5th round cannot be overstated for a club that has spent so long in the wilderness of the National League. This is a sign of health, a sign of vitality. It's absolutely brilliant. Let's break down exactly what happened, because the details matter. This wasn't a walk in the park. Southend United's academy is respected. Going to Roots Hall is never an easy task for any team, let alone at the youth level where nerves can shatter the best laid plans. But Craig Knight's side, they showed something different. They showed composure. The final scoreline reads 3-1 to the Red Dragons, but that scoreline tells a story of clinical execution. We need to talk about the names. These aren't just numbers on a team sheet, these are the lads carrying the badge forward. Jack Jones, remember the name, he found the net. Carrick Murphy, another one who stepped up when the pressure was on. These young guns didn't freeze, they looked at the occasion, they looked at the history books that said Wrexham don't go this far, and they tore those pages out. It's visceral, isn't it, to think of these young players travelling down there, knowing the club had never reached this stage before, and delivering a performance like that. It speaks volumes about the mentality being instilled at the club right now. It's not just about winning, it's about overcoming psychological barriers. Southend United, the Shrimpers, they fought, but on the day, the Dragons breathed fire. It was a proper battle, a proper cup tie, and we came out on top.
I want to focus on the third scorer mentioned in the reports, Sammy Chesworth. When you are winning 2-1, or when the game is in the balance, finding that extra gear, that insurance, or that moment of brilliance to seal it is what separates good teams from nearly teams. Chesworth, netting for the under-18s, completes a trio of scorers that have etched their names into a very specific, very proud chapter of this club's folklore. Think about the coordination required here. 3 goals away from home in a high-pressure cup tie. It suggests a tactical maturity that goes beyond kick and rush. It suggests that Craig Knight has these lads drilled, organised and lethal in the final third. We often critique the first team when they lack a cutting edge, so it is only fair, no, it is necessary that we praise the youth when they show us how it's done. 3 goals, Jack Jones, Carrick Murphy, Sammy Chesworth. It's a collective triumph. To go to Southend and score 3 times is a testament to an attacking philosophy that is clearly trickling down from the first team, or perhaps is being cultivated specifically within the academy to produce fearless footballers. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who amongst these lads will be the next to step onto the turf at the racecourse for the senior side? The gap is closing. We have to give credit where it is absolutely due. The gaffer of this under-18 side, Craig Knight. Management at this level is incredibly difficult. You are dealing with teenagers with developing bodies and developing minds. You are managing egos, anxieties, and the immense pressure of a club that is under the global spotlight. For Knight to guide this group to uncharted territory is a massive personal and professional achievement. The report highlights his leadership, noting that it is Craig Knight's side that has broken this new ground. He has taken a group of young players and moulded them into history makers. It's not just about tactics, it's about belief. He has made them believe they are better than the historical record suggests. He has made them believe they belong in the 5th round of the FA Youth Cup. That psychological shift is often the hardest thing to implement in football. You can teach a lad to pass, you can teach him to shoot, but teaching him to win where no one before him has won, that takes a special kind of management. Knight deserves a massive amount of respect from the fan base today. He's doing the work in the engine room, ensuring the future of the club is bright.
Now this is where things get really interesting. This is where the intrigue I mentioned at the start ramps up to 11. Who is next? Because of this victory, because of this historic 3-1 win, who awaits Wrexham in the 5th round?
Aston Villa. Let that sink in for a second. Aston Villa.
We are not just talking about another lower league academy. We are talking about the defending champions. We are talking about 5-time winners of the FA Youth Cup. This is a true David versus Goliath scenario. Villa's academy is one of the most productive, well-funded and elite systems in European football. They are the holders of the trophy. And Wrexham, our Wrexham, have earned the right to stand on the same pitch as them and look them in the eye. It is daunting, yes. It is a massive step up in class. But isn't that what we want? Isn't that the dream? To test ourselves against the very best? Craig Knight's side will take on the champions. It sets up a narrative that is almost too perfect. The underdogs from Wales against the Midlands giants. It's going to be a memorable run regardless of the result, but the sheer fact that we are in this conversation is a victory in itself.
I want to analyse the contrast here. Aston Villa represents the established elite of English football youth development. They have decades of Premier League infrastructure. Wrexham represents the resurgence, the passion, the community. When these two sides meet in round 5, it will be a fascinating tactical and physical battle. The report calls them the Red Dragons under-18s against Villa's defending champions. It's a clash of expectations. Villa will be expected to win, the pressure is entirely on them. Wrexham can go into this with the freedom of a team that has already made history. That is a dangerous weapon. When you play without fear, when you play knowing you have already achieved something no other Wrexham youth team has achieved, you become unpredictable, you become dangerous. And let's be honest, we love being the underdog. It's in our DNA, it's in the soil of the racecourse. This upcoming match is going to be a litmus test for just how far the academy has come. Can we compete with the Premier League boys?
Can we hold our own against the best in the country? After seeing what Jones, Murphy and Chesworth did at Southend, I wouldn't bet against them causing a stir. So, what do we take away from this? Why does this matter so much on a Tuesday? Because a football club is more than just the 11 players the manager picks on a Saturday afternoon for the league. A football club is a living, breathing organism. If the roots, the academy, are strong, the tree will survive any storm. This 3-1 victory over Southend United, this breaking of the record, this march into the 5th round to face Aston Villa, it tells us that Wrexham is building for longevity. It tells us that the passion we see in the stands is being matched by the application on the training pitches of the youth setup. We should celebrate this. We should celebrate Jack Jones, Carrick Murphy, Sammy Chesworth and Craig Knight. They have given us a reason to be incredibly proud today.
They have reminded us that while the Hollywood story is fun, the real story, the Welsh story, the football story is being written by these young
Lads in the mud and rain, fighting for the badge. Aston Villa, you're next, and the Red Dragons are coming with fire in their bellies. What a time to be a fan.